you need to step out of your comfort zone. And I'm not just talking to you oldies, because I know there's a load of oldies watch this channel. I'm talking to you young guns too. You kids at college, you lot raising families, you lot easing your way into retirement, and those like me who wake up every morning with the day stretched out like a blank canvas. We all need to step out of our comfort zones. Most of us live our lives in safe little bubbles, and we do this because we don't want to put anything in the future in jeopardy. We're actually living today to protect plans we've put in place for our future. We live every hour of our days in consideration for a time in the future. We live every hour of our days in consideration of a time that may or may not come. We don't take risks because it definitely may not, could do, maybe, perhaps not, perhaps it will, perhaps it won't, have some bearing on a plan that we may or may not have put in our minds, that may affect or may not affect, or definitely won't affect, or definitely will affect a time that may or may not pan out in the future. In other words, we don't take risks because we're frightened it might have some slight bearing on some ephemeral plans that we've put up in our heads for some time in the future, that we're kind of living towards day by day, that may or may not turn out in the end. We're living in fear. We're living to protect a future that may or may not come. We're cutting our fun short for a time we may never see. I suppose that may be justification in some way for not doing things that have a certain amount of risk to them. Physical risk, emotional risk, financial risk. But at the end of the day, it will curtail a certain amount of fun that risk brings. It's really part of the human experience, isn't it? We come into this life and our mind, I think, is already formed to live with a bit of danger, because it all goes back through history, doesn't it? Thousands of years ago, man was taking risk to hunt down the mammoth to feed his family. Man was taking risk, battling his neighbour for land. We explored unknown regions and put ourselves at risk just to explore and gain knowledge. We flew off to the moon for God knows what reason. And why do we do it? Well, in the words of the great George Mallory, we did it because it was there. I don't think even George Mallory knew exactly why he wanted to climb Everest. So all the best he could come up with is because it's there, because there's no way of actually defining it. If somebody said, why do you take risks? You could say, for the thrill, because it's there. But really that's just a cop-out, because we don't know, and we shouldn't know, and there's no reason why we should know. Why we take risks, why we have fun, why we have the fun of taking risks and putting ourselves into precarious positions. We just do it because it's what's in us, it's what man is all about and woman is all about. Going out there, taking risks for the thrill of it, for the thrill of knowing that you were very close to disaster, but you came back. There's a risk, and some people overstep the mark and pay the ultimate price. But it's there, isn't it? You've put yourself outside your comfort zone, and by putting it outside your comfort zone, you release that adrenaline, don't you? That adrenaline, that kind of the drug of life, the beer of life, the whiskey of life. The thing that gives you the courage to do things, that puts you in a position where you can't turn back from doing things because that adrenaline is already rushing around your system, making you invincible. And that's what you need when you're battling your neighbour for land, fighting a mammoth for your dinner, shooting off to the moon, exploring faraway lands. One common denominator comes into that, and that is adrenaline, because you've put yourself outside your comfort zone. And because that adrenaline has been there, is being produced in our bodies since Adam were a lad, since man came on the earth. Why do we suppress it? Is it dangerous to suppress it? But we do. And we do for most of our lives because we've made plans for the future. And we don't want to do anything that may risk that future. Oh, don't do that, because you might break your leg and break your back and you won't be able to do that. Don't do that because you'll lose your money and you won't be able to do that. Don't take that job even if it's what you really want and you love to do, because it may put at risk some future you've put together now, some plan you've put together now, that it's just a plan. It might never happen. And do you want to look back in days to come and say, I wish I'd done that, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd had the guts, how would it have been, what fun I could have had, what stories I could have told, what stories could have told my grandchildren. Who amongst us would take risks like George Mallory did just because it's there? And I think George Mallory said that because it was all he could say, because he didn't really know why he wanted to climb Everest. It was just that it was there. And I think that's one reason we should step out of our comfort zones, because it's there, it's just there. It just needs to be done. It's just this primal feeling. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. So don't suppress it. Because if you suppress it, you're suppressing memories. You're suppressing future memories. You're suppressing adventures. Nobody's saying that you have to put your life at risk. Just step out of your comfort zone. Bungee jump. Take that job that you think might be a bit risky. Be the first on the dance floor when you know that everybody else is watching. That's putting you outside your comfort zone, isn't it? But when you've done it and when you've achieved it, you look back and think, I did that. That was me. I took a risk. And it doesn't matter if that risk is life-threatening or just the possibility of future embarrassment. It's all relative. It's up to you. We've got our levels of what our comfort zone is and what it means to step outside it. For some people, it may be the risk of the ultimate sacrifice. For others, it may be the risk of blushing. But we need to step out of our comfort zones. We really need to. Don't complain if you don't step out of your comfort zone and you look back in the future and think, I wish I should have stepped out of my comfort zone, because it may be too late. Stepping out of your comfort zone is a primal urge. It's like being baked in through history, isn't it? It's as natural as smiling at a puppy or getting angry over a perceived injustice. But it's something we suppress just because of some conformative plans that we've put in place in our minds. So we are curtailing excitement, risk, because that's all risk is. Risk is just fun, isn't it? Risk is just the production of adrenaline, the production of chemicals in your body. And we're suppressing that just in case we do something that might cock up something in the future that might never happen anyway, because any plans we put in the future between now and when they happen are subject to so many variables, aren't they? Because we make plans for the future based on things that are happening to us today, based on standards and yardsticks that are in place at this moment, but they change all the time. So the plans you have in the future, even if they come to fruition, the chances are there'll be nothing like, they will only be vaguely like the plans you put into place. But then we don't do so many things, especially when we're young. I raced motorbikes when I was younger, but I don't think I ever really put myself at risk. I don't think that was fear, because there was no fear involved, or only a slight amount of fear. Caution. I never pushed it hard enough to be completely throw everything away with gay abandon. I always thought at the back of my mind, if something happens, then that will cock up what happens in the future, when we may not have a future. You don't have to do anything spectacular to step out of your comfort zone, do you? You just have to do something that goes against what you would do normally, but you would love to do it. You know that feeling, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, when you see somebody do something and you think, oh, I wish I could do that, but I couldn't do that because... And just do it. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular, just something out of the normal. You don't have to risk physical harm, emotional harm, financial harm. People do. And that's where the huge thrills come in, the huge thrill because of the huge risk. But you don't have to go that far. Just do something that gives you a feeling of accomplishment, that makes you look back and think, oh, I never thought I'd do that. Can you imagine what everybody will say if they knew I did that? Because that's not like me. And the only reason it's not like you is because the like you, the you, is formed by you not stepping out of your comfort zone. You will be a totally different person if you spent your life stepping out of your comfort zone. What a thrill you would be to have a conversation with, to have a pint with. You'd be the centre of attention because you kept stepping out of your comfort zone. And I think we probably all know someone like that. And we'd love to do that. And we'll listen to the tales and we'll live our lives vicariously through theirs. It'd be a thrill and it'd be a laugh and it'd be great, and we would be the hero. Every now and then we just need to step out of our comfort zone. We shall see you on the flip. Peace and love.